8:56. We can start.
We live.
Yay. I
What
love
is
being
up,
live.
everybody? Do you?
Sometimes.
Like, do you thrive in the live?
I wish I thrived in the live. I get really nervous in the live.
So you would prefer, like,
I'm a nervous
take one,
Nelly.
take two. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous. Because, like, if I have to do the intro, I have it all planned in my head. And then when we go live, I forget everything. And I'm like, hi, I'm Danielle.
What's up, everybody? We just finished watching Ring of Honor. And by just, I mean probably like 10 minutes ago.
They finished early.
They finished a little early this week. Maybe to make up for, because I think it was like last week they started late, like
2 weeks.
30 minutes 2 weeks ago. They said, yeah, so maybe they're making up for that.
Super late. Yeah.
Maybe they just want to keep us on our toes. Who knows when it's going to start? Who knows when it's going to end? All you know that it's going to happen. It's going to happen on Thursday. It's going to happen on Thursday. That's all you know.
Yeah. People are old. They need to go to bed. You're welcome.
And yeah, you want to start this shindig?
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Let's do it.
I do love a good shindig.
I love an excuse to say the word shindig.
Yeah. I said scallywag the other day. I called someone a scallywag. I was really excited about it. Okay, sorry. All right,
all right, go.
Ladies and gentlemen, the best wrestling podcast around, hosted by Brady and Danielle.
Nope. Hold on.
What happened?
Gentlemen, the best wrestling podcast around, hosted by Brady and Danielle, the Heel Mob.
From Brooklyn to your living room, it's the best podcast to listen to. Morning, even afternoon, hear clever blind girl and a Jew talk about wrestling. They do it 24/7, cause they love to speak on it every week. That's why they are best friends, and they're back once again for some wrestling talk. So sit back, relax, it's time for Heel Mob.
They're not just smart, they're Heel Mob. They're not just smart.
Ladies and gentlemen, fans and friends, we are back once again. I am the custodian of charisma, the ophthalmologist of optimism, and she is the sultan of sarcasm and the sorceress of sass. I am the ghost. She is the coat. We are the Heel Marks. I am Brady. She is Danielle. We are the best friends in all the land, and this is the best Ring of Honor post show that there is. Granted, we are aware of only us. We don't know of any other ROH post show, but we're going to go ahead and assume and say confidently that this is the best one. Right, Danielle?
Correctamundo.
Correctamundo is right. Now, before we get into our Ring of Honor reactions and recap, just a quick shout out to let everybody know we've got, I think offhand, it's like 5 spots left in our men's pool, 7 in our women's. If I'm speaking, Danielle, is that right? You give me the thumbs up? No, am I wrong?
No, it's incorrect. We have 2 left in the men's and 4 left in the women's.
Holy shit, breaking news. All right, so we do a Royal Rumble pool as the annual Heel Marks pool. Last year we sold them out so fast that we ended up doing 2. That might happen this year. We don't know. But for our OG Royal Rumble pool, assuming we only have these ones, there's only 2 spots left for the men's. And Daniel, you said 4 for the women's?
4 for the women, yep.
It is $25, gets you 1 number. That number comes out and wins, you're getting 500 bones. If that number is the longest lasting in the Royal Rumble, you're getting 110. No. Yes. If you get the most eliminations, you're getting 90. And if you are unlucky and you are the first person thrown out for your troubles, you get $50. That is the Heel Marks annual Royal Rumble pool. And as I said, we do have a couple spots left. So get them while they're hot. You can hit us up on Instagram or Facebook. Look at the posts. The posts are out there. Now,
Twitter
with
also.
that out of the way, let's get into it. We had Ring of Honor tonight, Danielle, and it opened up with Eddie Kingston, the Ring of Honor champion, the Triple Crown champion. He reflects on winning it. And Danielle, there's no one realer than Eddie Kingston. There's no one that makes me feel like if I close my eyes and just listen to him cut a promo, especially this type of promo where he's just backstage talking to the camera and interacting, breaking the fourth wall, interacting with like random people around him, I feel like I could be at the barbershop. Like I would just close my eyes and there I am with the barbershop.
That man, after he won the Triple Crown, he went over to the local bodega and got himself a bacon, egg, and cheese, salt, pepper, ketchup.
Facts.
You know
Big
that's
facts.
what he did.
Facts.
That's what he did. He was hungry, and that's what he did.
And he was hungry, and he was satisfied by getting his Triple Crown win. I love this promo because he really put it over huge. And one thing that made me pop, because Eddie Kingston, he, like I said, he comes across so real where everything he says, I believe. There's no wrestler that can make me a believer in the moment, in an emotion, in a story more than Eddie Kingston. He can make me think he loves Jon Moxley and then hates Jon Moxley in the same sentence. So when he, who's been talking about how he hates Bryan Danielson because of this and that and all the things he used to say to him, blah, blah, blah. When you hear him talk about beating Bryan Danielson and how much respect he has for that man because he's one of the best wrestlers he's ever been in the ring with, like that's real. That's real. And when he talks about, and with a tear in his eye, talks about the fact that he was happy that he got to finish it off with Mox. And we know how close they are together and what this meant for probably both men, for Moxley to do this to Kingston, because keep in mind, and we forget it over time a lot, but Moxley has put over clean very few men in AEW.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, very few. So when it happens, and especially in this moment where Eddie Kingston, I think a lot of us kind of thought that he was going to lose it in the finals, and kind of this was going to be him passing it on to a new winner of the tourney, but he pulls through, and this promo really, to me, sold properly how monumental it was for his career and for the company.
I mean, the minute I saw it was Moxley and him, I knew he was retaining. Like he was getting on.
Well, right. No, but I meant more of like early predictions.
Yeah, that match was okay.
Listen, I love those two together. To be honest,
I do too. It was okay though. People were hot for him though. I will say that they were hot for Eddie Kingston in that match, but Moxley was getting booed, and like I was in shock that he was getting booed so much. I was like, oh, okay, this is what we're doing. Cool.
I'm not shocked. Moxley's a chameleon. He can kind of do what he needs to do. And Kingston at this point is one of the most likable and most loved babyface characters AEW or Ring of Honor has. The fans just really connect with him in a way that few wrestlers can connect with us.
I feel like New Yorkers really connect with Eddie Kingston because we've definitely had a friend in that group that is definitely Eddie Kingston. Like Eddie Kingston is a kid I grew up with, Yeah.
Like, everyone's got an Eddie Kingston.
Everybody's got an Eddie Kingston, of course.
First match of the night kicked off with Griff Garrison with Cole Carter by his side, defeating Serpentico. Danielle, this match, I like it because even though Maria's not there, they were still able to make it about her. And as I listened to commentary putting it over and then them putting it over, whether it's like he wins, he's like, for you, Maria, we love you. I'm thinking, I wonder how much Danielle loves this.
Oh, and then you were like, Danielle is probably hating all of this.
Exactly.
And then you would have been correct.
Yeah.
It's silly. I'm not gonna lie, I did giggle a little bit when they were like, oh, she's with her kids and she's gonna record an album, and I thought that stuff was funny. I did laugh at that. I'm not gonna lie, I did laugh.
And I like that they're keeping Griff strong. For me, this is kind of what like Ring of Honor shows are for. These guys, I think if you put Griff Garrison on Dynamite, he'd end up losing a competitive match to somebody getting pushed. But in Ring of Honor, he's the one winning those matches. And so for me, as a Griff Garrison fan and a fan of Maria's various stables and tag teams, I like seeing matches like this, especially against someone like Serpentico, who can always make anyone look good.
I was more interested in the fact that Colt kept interrupting him and he didn't like that, and you could see him getting upset. Yes. I kind of was more into that than the Maria stuff. Them talking about Maria. I thought that was a little
I think that's going to be interesting to see when Maria does make her return to her groups to see where they stand and how everyone's going.
Right.
Going into the next one, we had Lance Archer, Danielle's favorite.
Zaddy.
Haunts her dreams on occasion. We have it reported.
He doesn't haunt them. He doesn't haunt
he's the
them.
murder hawk monster.
He nestles into them.
He nestles into them.
It's only because he looks like someone that used to. Yeah.
Right. No, that's my favorite factor.
It's so alarming, though. Like, literally, I'll watch the match and I'll just be like, you look so much like this guy. I want to text him, but obviously I can't because he's like married now. And I'm just like, oh, I was like, you look just like him. What happy? Every time I look at Lance Archer, I have happy memories. What a great gift to give someone. Happy memories. No.
Yes, he didn't give JP Harlow happy memories.
Right. Though. One of the things I kept thinking is, so what are we doing with Lance Archer? Why are we feeding like a jobber to him? Why aren't we doing anything with him? And that kind of frustrates me a little bit.
I mean, this is kind of what you do. To be honest, until they have like a set feud for him, this is 100% what I want to see, actually, because I don't want to see him having competitive matches with people who are also not getting pushed at the moment. Right. So at this point, I only want to see him presented as the monster, as the freak, as someone who cannot be touched by anybody. So I actually got to disagree with you respectfully, of course, on this one until they get a solid story. Let's say, for example, they want to throw big meaty men at each other and they want to throw Lance versus Keith Lee, right?
Yeah.
Then fine. But until Lance and Keith meet, honestly, I'd want to see them both have similar matches, like both to just put them up against people that they can just throw around and dominate for about 4 minutes.
I don't know.
And that's how I want to see them presented until their feud.
I don't know. I'm just like, oh, I wish you could do something with you. Thanks.
I know you wish you could do something with him.
He's a man of God. How dare you?
Oh my God. That's my new favorite line. And my new favorite nickname, for the record, people, if you're looking on the banner, that is not what they are calling him, but that's what we're going to call him, because Dalton Castle is distraught.
Oh.
Distraught Dalton Castle comes
out
with the boys. I love it, personally.
I'm mixed. It's like frustrating to watch because it's a little corny, but I love that he's just going with it.
What I love the most about it, because I think it would be too cliche if this distraught version of Dalton Castle was coming out so depressed, going through this and continuously losing. But they're kind of switching it up. Yes, he lost the big one. Yes, Johnny TV cost him the championship, and he is not the Ring of Honor TV champion. But last week we see distraught Dalton Castle come out 2 weeks ago as well, and he gets the win. He comes out sad because he doesn't have the action figures. He doesn't have the title. He doesn't have everything he promised he was going to get when he became champion. But he's not having a losing streak. So, like, for me, I like it because it's all about the title. So it's this man's character change is putting over the championship, arguably more than the champion coming out and having a fantastic title defense does. Also, it puts a little extra emphasis on Johnny TV and what Johnny TV truly cost him and took away from him. And these wins against A, B, and C don't satisfy him. He will not stop until he is satisfied, Danielle. And he will only be satisfied when he smashes Johnny TV's face.
Right, but them like yelling at each other back and forth is like two little schoolboys like fighting over a toy.
Right. No,
and
it was hilarious, though.
Really? I didn't find that part funny. Like, I'm just like, this sounds... Because they're both, like, getting high pitch. And I'm like, when did you both start talking so high pitch?
Yeah, I mean, Johnny TV, we've seen him in the past, especially with Miz, where he can go very slapstick with the comedy.
Right.
And, you know, what was the name of his movie? I forgot.
Bounty Hunter.
Bounty Hunter, yeah.
We watched that, remember?
That was a fun one.
Yeah, that was
a fun one. As was this match with Pretty Peter Avalon. I like Avalon. He's
Do
another
you?
one.
I'm okay
I
with
do.
him. Yeah,
No, I like him.
I'm okay with him.
I mean, we've seen him various times, and I think he does anything he's asked to do really well. Like, I think he's a nice utility player. And I think this match was great for what it was. As I said, Dalton Castle continuing his winning ways, getting back on track. The only thing that will satisfy him, though, is smashing Shiny TV's face. We will have to wait and see if that is in his future. Speaking of seeing it in the future, we got the Men of the Year reunion. Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky, going by the name the Men of the Year, have a little backstage interview. Scorpio Sky explaining that this is Ethan Page's time. Ethan Page supported him when it was his time. Now he's here to support Ethan Page. Danielle, I gotta ask, do you buy it?
No. The whole time I'm watching this, I'm like, heel turn's coming.
Right?
I'm like, one of them are turning on the other one.
Well, no, for me, it screamed Scorpio's going to turn on Ethan. But,
yeah,
because I don't want it to happen.
Right.
I don't want to believe that they're going to start hinting it so quick. We just got him back now. Big reaction, big reception. We're happy to see these two back on TV in general together. Why would they hint at it so fast? But to me, they were just laying it on so thick.
Yeah, like he was, Ethan was thanking his family and being like, oh, because of Sky, and this is our year. And it's kind of like, I don't know. I'm not buying this. I'm like, there's a turn coming. Yeah, I wasn't buying it at all. It was too much of like, it's the Men of the Year's year. And I'm like, I don't think Sky's going to want it to be the Men of the Year. I think he's going to want it to be the Man of the Year, and he's going to be the man.
Yeah, I don't think it will necessarily happen so soon, but it certainly seems like breadcrumbs have been presented and the seeds have been planted. It does kind of see like we're looking into the future and we can kind of see how this may end. And I'm getting sad just thinking about it, but hopefully we enjoy the time we have with the Men of the Year while we have them. Yeah. Speaking of enjoying while we got him, we got Queen Aminata making her ROH TV debut, defeating Maya World. I was impressed. I really was. I was happy to me, she was like a breath of fresh air.
You're talking about Queen Aminata?
Yes, Aminata.
Aminata, excuse me. I was actually very impressed with Maya World.
Right.
I thought she looked really good. No, I wasn't, but I'm slowly getting there. And I'm like, I'm really watching. I thought it was great. I would like to point out, we're talking about this. I love the fact that there were 3 women's matches on this card tonight. Like, that made me happy because a lot of other places we get 1 women's match or we get one squash match.
And we even had 2 of those women's matches coming back to back.
Yeah.
So they weren't really scared to go back to back. They were giving them time for sure.
Yeah. That's one thing I think ROH and Impact both have, like they utilize their women. And that I'm very happy about. And I'm happy that we got to see 3 women's matches and 3 good women matches.
And I think it's significant that we're getting this, and I think we're going to get it to continue. Yeah. And this is the good thing about Tony Khan making that announcement. Granted, there are people saying we've got too many belts, but the fact that we're getting a women's television championship puts emphasis on every single women's match, because now Queen Aminata and the other women, and we'll get to their matches, but every time they win, or even just during an entrance, they can look into the camera and say, "Your next TV champion, that's me." And the commentary team has something to talk about whenever they win, because look what we've got a new front runner, people. She's making a claim for her chance to the belt.
It's like a catch-22 where he has to have a belt because he doesn't know how to write storylines for women. So he just needs to add another belt, but at least we're adding a belt so we can see women. So I'm going to take it.
But I'm also a fan of it. Like I said, we do have a lot of belts, but that's almost because it's more than AEW. And it's not even just AEW and Ring of Honor. You've got NJPW, you've got AAA. There's so many different companies being represented with their championships. So for me, with ROH, I don't mind them having 2 women's championships.
It's just 2 women championship, right? It's just 2 women, and then does the women have tags?
Well, it would be 2 for Ring of Honor, and then with AEW, there's of course still the TBS.
Well, I'm not counting AEW. I'm talking about ROH.
Yeah, right now there's only 1 women's championship, and this would make 2.
Is there a women's tag for ROH yet? No. Okay, so let them have 2. The men have a ton, so why not? Like, that's fine.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's okay.
Yeah, and I think it's being used great as a way to highlight the women more. Also, I think this next match was a great way to highlight STP, Shane Taylor Promotions. Shane Taylor and Lee Moriarty defeated the Infantry and the Boys. These tag matches always thrill me. They go back and forth.
Yeah, they go back and forth, and they're hard. And they all bring a different style to the ring, so they all have to work off of each other, which is really impressive.
110%. I'm a big fan of Shane Taylor Promotions getting this push.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Lee Moriarty. Like, that's my guy. I love that guy.
I think these 2 work together great, and Shane Taylor is just, every time he speaks, like, my eyes and ears are just glued. Like, I am just hook, line, and sinker. And when he says that, like, everyone is on notice, your hands can't hit what your eyes can't see. You're all getting put out by STP. Like, I'm a believer every fucking time, and I'm glad he gets to say it after a win, as opposed to just saying it before a match that they don't win. So yeah, I was happy with the end result here. The ROH tag division is very strong, like very strong.
Oh, absolutely. That's one thing that I love tag team wrestling, and they're all, I like every single one of their tag teams so far. Like, anytime there's going to be a tag match, I'm all for it because I love all of them.
Here's my only complaint, and it's
you're going to complain about something.
It happens. Wow. It does happen. It's not about this match.
Oh.
But AEW World's End happened, and it left a lot of people talking. We learned the identity of the ROH Tag Team Champions. We know they are now the Undisputed Kingdom. And yet, I think Ring of Honor, we should see them. These guys are involved in a big-time storyline. It's the storyline going on in AEW. We're going to see them on Dynamite, possibly Rampage and Collision, but they're the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions now, officially. So let's get them on the show. And it's 100%. And it's less of a complaint and more of a request for next week. But I do think this would have been a great opportunity, with everyone talking about them, to go ahead and throw them on this show, at least in a backstage interview or promo.
Please and thank you. So, to be fair, I don't know 100% the answer, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm assuming these shows aren't live.
They are live.
They are live? Then why were those guys wearing Santa outfits?
Why not?
Because it's not Christmas anymore.
But it's always time for Santa.
Oh, because I was going to say if they're not live, then it would make sense that they weren't on the show, because then people would have known who they were already.
That would make sense. I'm almost positive these things aren't taped.
Those stupid guys shouldn't be wearing stupid Santa outfits.
Why? Why are you hating on Santa?
What? I love Santa, but it's not Christmas anymore. Well, technically, it's not Christmas. Whatever.
I got news for you. If you don't want to see somebody but once a year, you don't love them that much.
That's not true. That's not true at all. I can name about 15 people that I want to see once a year that I love wholeheartedly.
All right. Well, then I will look forward to that off the air. I'm going to get that list from you.
Yeah, I definitely can't be doing this on air.
Red Velvet defeating Pink Dream, Alex Garcia, in her ROH debut.
I
was really impressed by Red Velvet. She continues to get better for me. Her evolution is on point for me. Danielle, you agree?
I completely agree. I was all for Red Velvet when she came into AEW, when we've seen her at indie shows. Like, I'm all behind her. I think she's immensely talented, and I'm so happy that she's part of the ROH crew now.
Yeah, I'm happy to see her make her debut here. And she, as I mentioned earlier, she got this win and then looked right into the camera. Your next TV champion. And that immediately, you know, we were talking about women that we think might become the first one. And I didn't have her in mind. But now, all of a sudden, with her making debut and getting a strong win here, now all of a sudden she puts herself kind of in the top of the list, where you're kind of thinking, okay, maybe she does. Red Velvet would make a good first TV champion.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's
How
a few
far she would have come from being with Jade Cargill, like on the side and never really getting to have that moment where she stands out on her own. Then Jade leaves. Now this could be her moment.
Yeah. She can
You mentioned having 3 women's matches. Here's the third. Mercedes Martinez and Diamante defeating Layla Hirsch and Rachel Ellerling. Without Maria, they weren't able to keep it together, but there was a point mentioning where Ellerling did take the bullet for Hirsch.
Yeah, I don't care about that.
It's a position where if you take the bullet, like, the other person should be able to capitalize. If you take the bullet and just all it means is that you lose instead of that person, then what are we doing here? Like, I'm just happy take bullets, people.
I'm just happy Mercedes Martinez won because you know how much I love her. So I was just happy she won. I didn't even care about Rachel Ellerling. Layla Hirsch, to be honest.
I was happy Mercedes Martinez came out there, but I didn't actually think they were winning.
I didn't think they were. I didn't think they were winning either. So it was a nice surprise for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think so either.
Speaking of a nice surprise, I like that we're getting an ROH TV title match. I like those things. Those are happy surprises. But I'm like, okay, let's get ourselves a title match. Kyle Fletcher, new ROH TV champion. He's going to defend it against Willie Mack. He retains it, of course. Willie Mack, Macamania, though, always entertaining, always dominating, even in defeat.
Macamania, I love that.
He was doing the Macarena.
I love Willie Mack so much. I was so happy. Like, I believe these ROH TV title shots are going to be an open challenge kind of thing. So, like, each week they're just going to have a different person. Like, there's no set story, I think, which I love because I love open challenges for stuff like this, for this kind of title. I love this. And Willie Mack is one of the perfect people for him to defend his title against.
Yeah, no, this is a fun one. And it's a good one, too. Willie Mack's a strong wrestler. He already has a pedigree with him. So even though when we kind of see them coming out, we're kind of figuring Kyle Fletcher's going to retain. He just got his title. But this is still a meaningful victory. This goes on to cement Kyle Fletcher's reign, gets him started hot. I think this should happen every week, if I'm being honest. I don't necessarily, it doesn't have to be on this show because Kyle Fletcher is a type of wrestler that they're going to put on every show they have. But I think at least every week we should be getting an ROH television title defense, especially if he's going to be on TV as much as he has been.
Kyle Fletcher reminds me of Eyebrows from Guardians of the Galaxy and Where the Millers. What's that guy's name? You know who I'm talking about?
I mean, when you say Eyebrows, are you talking about the kid who called the other one Eyebrows? Or are you talking about who's called Eyebrows?
Who's called Eyebrows?
The kid who kissed both Jennifer Aniston and the other one.
Yeah, that one. When he's like, "You're getting paid."
Yeah,
he's also in Guardians of the Galaxy. What's his name?
I don't know what his name is.
Why don't you know his name?
Why would I know his name?
Will Poulter. I don't know. Will Poulter. Yeah, Eyebrows. He looks just like him. As I'm watching him wrestle, I'm just like, oh, you look like that guy.
He does kind of look like a jacked Will Poulter. You're right.
What? Will Poulter's jacked? Are you out of your mind?
Well, he looks like a more jacked Will Poulter.
Oh, okay. I mean, all right. That's fine.
He wasn't jacked in We're the Millers, and that's kind of what I'm still picturing.
That's like when he was like 12.
Okay, you know what? Fine. Excuse me. I'm not up on my Will Poulter. Mrs. I had to look up his name.
Well, you should be.
All right. I'm up on the main event, which was El Hijo, Del Vikingo, Shotty, Lee Johnson, and Commander getting a big win over El Gringo Loco and the workhorseman Anthony Henry and J.D. Drake. First off, obviously, we hear on the heel marks we here at Mark of Honor, we love ourselves some JD Drake.
Oh my God, love JD Drake.
Especially watching him in the main event. Always love seeing a workhorseman in the main event. It should happen every week, and it's been happening a lot on Ring of Honor TV, and I am not complaining.
Not complaining at all. I do love that one of the teams were very high flying and the other teams were more like groundwork. I really like that, and I like the dynamic watching this match.
See, for me, I actually thought it was like, yes, you're right. The workhorsemen were obviously more ground and pound, but they did have El Gringo Loco on the side. So I thought that on that side, on the heel side, they were kind of just able to throw everything at him, where they were able to throw a little lucha back at him, but also they were able to hit him in the mouth.
I love El Gringo Loco. I think he's fantastic.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Very underrated. I think the ROH roster in general is kind of filled with just a lot. Like, almost everyone is underrated in some level, from T to B, top to the bottom of that card. And this match, I think maybe like two of them, maybe Commander and Vikingo, are not considered underrated right now, because they're both kind of highly regarded as some of the best luchas, the best high flyers in the game today. Commander's in the middle of a great push, Vikingo as well. So but I really think everybody else in this match you'd throw on the underrated list.
Oh, 100%. Like Lee Johnson, like fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And you know how much we love the workhorsemen, so we don't need to like jam that down your throat anymore, because we talk about them all the time. But yeah, absolutely. When I watch ROH, that's a big thing. I'm like, these are all underrated guys that like people should be watching ROH to see these guys, because these guys are so good. And I don't know if it's like a soft spot because we've been watching them before, before like people are watching them on ROH, or like, we've been watching them in indies for so long, but like, I guess it's because we know what they're capable of and we want people to see them and see what they have to offer.
And you know what it is also, that as much as obviously the fans are watching, the people backstage in ROH are watching as well. The people backstage in AEW
100%.
are watching as well. So and Ethan Page has been kind of infusing it in his, not gimmick, but in his storyline, saying, listen, on AEW, you the last saw me, I was dancing with Matt Hardy doing this and that. I want to become AEW world champion, but my way to do that is succeeding here in Ring of Honor. So like it's that's the way it is on TV as well as off. These guys succeed in Ring of Honor TV, they'll make their way up the ladder on AEW TV. And so it's just, for me, it's exciting to see these guys work main events. Like those things have to matter. You know what I mean?
Main event or just being on the show, like it's just such a push for them, and it's so good to have eyes on them.
Yeah, 100%. Like those main event eyes, and with the commentary team talking about what these wins mean. So we get Commander getting the big win. This guy's getting pushed to the moon. It wouldn't surprise me to see him be the next challenger for Kyle Fletcher's championship, because they were the final two.
But for like a rematch.
It also wouldn't surprise me to see them keep Commander away from him and actually be the one who eventually takes the title away when they're ready to take away from Fletcher.
You think Commander's taking it away?
I mean, like I said, I think they're keeping him strong for a reason. We're going to have to see, are they just keeping him strong so he can be a strong contender and just put Fletcher over, or are they going to keep him strong in his own world until he comes on back to take that title away from Fletcher?
I don't know. I got Lee Moriarty. Like that's my guy who's gonna take it from him, I think.
See, I would love for that to happen, and I'm not trying to put the kibosh on it, but you're saying that from a place of emotion. You love Lee Moriarty.
Wow, that sounds really sexist.
You want to see him become ROH TV champion, but the fact of the matter is they're both heels at the moment. So logistically speaking, you're picking someone less likely.
Wow.
So unless you've got an inside tip, I think you're, and also you're the one being sexist, saying that I'm saying you're emotional just because you're a woman. Wow.
Wow. I didn't even say that, but that's what you're saying?
Wow is right.
Oh,
Wow
wow.
is right, Danielle.
Wowie
Listen,
yowie.
I, for one, am not going to allow this sexist behavior from you to be on this show any longer.
How dare you? How dare you? Yeah. It's fine if they're both heels. Heels can steal from heels. I'm okay with it.
Heels can steal.
From heels. They can steal from anybody.
Exactly.
I don't know. Yeah, but I don't know. I think it's Lee Moriarty. I think something will change. I don't think Kyle Fletcher's losing it anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I think he's gonna have it for a while. So who knows? Maybe Lee will just get so over that he becomes a darling baby face, and then
What's
everybody.
Funny is I don't even think Lee would be the one to win if someone from STP won. I think it'd be Shane.
You think Shane's gonna win TV champ?
I think if you told me that the TV champion was going to someone as a part of the Shane Taylor promotions, my guess would be Shane Taylor. Yes.
No, you're. Well,
I'm not saying I think either one of them are going to be TV champion, but I do think right now I would see Shane winning it over Lee.
Yeah, it's okay to be wrong.
Okay. This is where we're going. I would love to see Lee win.
I would love to see Lee win. Don't worry.
You're wishing the kibosh on poor Shane here just because you want to be right.
How dare you? I love Shane. I like Lee Moriarty better. Ethan Page is going to steal it from him, obviously. Ethan Page is going to wrestle him, and then Scorpio Sky is going to take it from him.
Oh, man. What a sad story that would be.
He's going to not take it from him. He's going to, Ethan Page is going to wrestle him, and he's going to cost him it. That's what the word I was looking for. I'm sorry. My brain is, I'm sorry. He's going to cost him the title.
There we go.
I'm sorry. My Tylenol PM is kicking in.
And on that note, guys, thanks so much for joining us for Mark of Honor, the best Ring of Honor post show. Happy New Year, ladies and gentlemen.
Happy
it is
New Year.
2024. This is the first of many marks of honor you guys are going to get from us, the heel marks. I am Brady. She is Danielle. You can follow us everywhere. Follow us at the heel marks. Follow me at Good Dude Bad Jew on Instagram. Follow her at DCC125 on Instagram and at Being Clever on the Twittergram. Guys, you are the best. We are just trying to be like you. Never forget, we are not just smart marks. We're heel marks. Not just smart marks, we're heel marks.